It's the 7th annual Tri-City Kart Club Saturday Night Shootout on SWX, presented by Almond Asphalt.
From Horn Rapids, it's the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout presented by Almond Asphalt. Tonight, top talent from all over the Pacific Northwest and spanning generations converge at the famed road course here at the Tri-City Kart Club. Good evening and thanks for joining us. My name is Brian Lovitt, joined by Terry Bridges. Now, Terry, this event keeps getting bigger and bigger. 11 races, 12 classes, and a record 170 entries. What about this event makes it so special?
Well, first of all, it's the facility. One of the best west of the Mississippi. You're not going to find a track much better than this. And it's the atmosphere. It's family. It's racers. I mean, it's a racetrack. I mean, it's hard to put into words what this place is.
So many great races, so many great drivers. Break it down for us a little bit if you can.
Well, you've got a couple different classes. I mean, you got Shifter Light, which has some of the best drivers in the country. Connor Wick, Cooper Becklin, Andrew Zimmer, just to name a few. We've got Senior 206 with Gabe Sessler, many-time champ Derek Wang, Andrew Zimmer pulling double duty running that too. I mean, there's so many classes here, Brian, that it's almost impossible to pick just one or two that are going to be awesome.
All right, let's buckle up. It's time to fire up the engines. The Saturday Night Shootout is next on SWX. So here we are, the Kid Kart race. We are in progress and enjoying some great racing action here. A beautiful night for racing and competitive field up front there, Terry, for this Kid Kart race, and some future stars of tomorrow that we're getting a first look at.
Absolutely. It's a runaway right now. Axel Bodish, Roscoe Smith, and Eleanor Hayes. Eleanor took the final heat race this afternoon, did a great job, and it looks like Eleanor is sitting in that second spot.
And yeah, there's Eleanor, and Axel is certainly out in front there. Roscoe Smith, another one, along with Riley. Got a lot of brothers and sisters, cousins,
Absolutely.
all racing together.
Sometimes that might be a long ride home depending on what happens. But Bowdish, your leader, Eleanor Hayes, all over the backside as they head into turn number 4.
And you think about how fast these kid karts go and how sharp some of these turns are. I mean, I've done some practice laps on here. Craig Chiesa has been nice enough to let us come out and do that, and I wasn't even touching 30 miles an hour, spinning out, having trouble.
Yeah, I mean, and when you're 5 years of age, think of how fast it must feel. So Axel Bodish is your leader, Eleanor Hayes in the second spot. Roscoe Smith is third as they go into turn number 1. Nose to tail.
You're talking about what these drivers learn out on the track at a young age. Learn how to manage that temper, how to leave it out on the track.
Just to name a few of the things. Seat time, seat time, seat time. It's everything. Eleanor Hayes checking out. Bodish in trouble. There goes Schmidt by as they go into turn number 7, or 6 rather, excuse me.
And Hayes navigates that chicane nicely. Straightaway 500 feet. These karts have the ability to max out pretty quickly, up to 40 miles an hour. And then they got that hairpin to contend with, which is challenging.
Very challenging. Riley Schmidt in the 4th spot. Kimber Wheelock is 5th. And Lucas Parada is in the 6th spot. I like the bling. The night lights. I believe that's Dax and Nuxel.
And this night racing, that adds a little wrinkle to things as well, right? With the tires and the cooler temps.
It's the best. There's nothing like racing under the lights. I think any and all racers love racing under the lights. Night racing is one of the coolest things ever. Look at the lead Hayes has built. But you know what? It's not as big as it was. As they head down the hill, Smith is coming. I mean, that's evaporating pretty quick.
Time might be on her side as this race is winding down, though.
Absolutely. Eleanor Hayes doing a fantastic job out front.
Heads into the dogleg.
Boy, check out Schmidt. He is coming.
Yeah, he is coming hard. They got one final lap left. This is going to be a great battle between Eleanor Hayes and Roscoe Smith as they head into the turn one, and then into turn 2 and 3. A lot of heavy braking here. This is where Smith could make a move.
Absolutely. Turn 4 today has been a spot. The dog leg has been a spot. You just got to wait for that opening. Eleanor Hayes, though, I don't think is going to leave enough room for 4 tires and nothing more.
It might be the dog leg or
turn number 6.
Smith tries to make a move on the outside there. That is going to be a good battle into the chicane.
Yes, it is.
And there we are on the straightaway. Here come the checkers, and Hayes by a nose.
Oh, boy.
How about that for an opening race here at the Saturday Night Shootout?
There you go. Kid Karts getting it done. Eleanor Hayes by a half a cart over Roscoe Smith. Good stuff.
By .067.
Didn't get much closer than that.
That is nail biter,
yeah,
to say the least.
Axel Bodish will finish up 3rd. Riley Smith will be 4th. Kimber Wheelocks 5th. Lucas Parada 6th. Daxton Nuxel 7th. Candace Guyton 8th. Jensen Meyer will finish in the 9th spot.
Well, that's a terrific opener. The Gamache Landscaping Kid Kart set the bar pretty high for the rest of the races here tonight. Once again, Eleanor Hayes, our winner here in the Kid Kart race. We're going to step aside. More racing action to come on SWX.
We're back, and this is your first year winning. How does it feel to win?
It feels good.
Feels good? Now, I understand racing is in the family. Did you get some coaching from your grandpa who was cheering you on the side?
A little bit.
A little bit? What are you going to do now that you won?
Probably go home and go to sleep in the morning, have some cake.
Have some cake in the morning. That's perfect breakfast. Oh, said you're going to Chuck E. Cheese. Well, congratulations. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Siggy. More racing action to come here on SWX. It's the Saturday Night Shootout. And welcome back to the Tri-City Kart Club. More racing action. Now it's the Defensive Driving School Senior 100cc and Junior 100cc races. That's 2 classes of races in one race, Terry.
That is correct. Scored separately, the juniors and the seniors.
These karts get moving too.
Oh,
up
yeah.
to 60 miles an hour. It's no joke. And this is kind of a fun race because you have the seniors, that's 15 plus, and then you got the 12 to 15-year-olds also kind of getting in the mix with them as well. Even though they're racing separately, it's kind of fun to see them all together and that combination of drivers of different ages.
Well, and it just shows you how great some of these drivers are. Like Riley Miller would have been a junior last year, and here he is leading the 100cc seniors with one of the best in the business, Caleb Schrader in the 2nd spot, Jake Sessler 3rd, and Stefanova Nikhil, a national champion, right there in the 4th spot.
These guys are humming along. You can see Miller going into that horseshoe. doing everything he can to keep Schrader off of his tail as they go into the dogleg.
And this is one of those races where you got to keep pace, but you can't really let up. It's a real razor blade edge there of what you got to work with. Miller, oh, Schrader, your new leader, as he got by Miller. Jake Sessler in the 3rd spot. Ethan Barrett is 4th. He's another one to keep your eye on. He looked good in the heat races earlier.
They are moving.
William Ginn leads our 100cc junior. Talia Agagami is in the 2nd spot, and Mauricio Prada is 3rd.
And as we come through, Schrader's still in front with the edge on Miller.
And he put down a 40.549, which is pretty quick around here.
Yeah, he's got a 2-second lead after that lap on Miller. That's pretty substantial this early on.
And you can see the gap on the racetrack.
Now the battle right now between Miller and Sessler, Barrett, and Akil.
Sessler's 3rd, Barrett 4th, Stefanova and Akil in the 5th spot. Another one to keep your eye on too, Brian, is the 8 of Peyton Cook in the 6th spot. He's been solid all day as well.
Sessler in that 2nd spot, hanging in there after he passed Miller on that last lap. Schrader expanding his overall lead to almost 4 seconds, 3.7 seconds.
Almost a second quicker than Sessler at this point. A 40.529 to Sessler's 41.423. So, yeah, it's not going to take long to build up quite a lead.
Whew. And he's got no lap traffic to contend with. He's just expanding that lead.
Yeah, we got one going into 1.
That's between 3 and 4. And I think we had a pass there.
That's Miller.
Is that Miller hanging on to 3rd or Barrett passing him?
No, I believe that was. It's so hard to see. That might have been Barrett passing Miller for the 3rd spot. It was. Sessler solidly in the 2nd spot. Got a little breathing room now.
That battle is really 3 through 5. Those guys are fender to fender.
That's it. Barrett, Akil, Peyton Cook.
And Barrett is in that 3rd spot after that lap, followed by Miller and Akil. Schrader now with a 4-second lead over everybody else. It's the reason why he's one of the great up-and-coming drivers here in kart racing.
Well, check this out, Brian. You saw it was almost a second lead before. Schrader puts down a 40.815 to Sessler's 40.912, so now it goes down to a 10th in a lap. That's pretty amazing. Well, so much of this is the setup too. You set it up one way and it comes in too early and goes away at the end. You set it up the other way, it comes in too late. So it's a real, like I said, it's a real razor blade all the time. Oh boy, and that looks like Miller slowing on the racetrack.
And a tight shot here of Caleb Schrader, who has been leading from the start pretty much. And we've got a driver off the course. Coming out of turn 3.
How about that track crew, huh? Getting to work.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of hard work here. Cannot sing their praises enough.
Oh, that's the 816. That's one of our junior drivers.
That would be Mauricio Parada.
Correct.
William Ginn, incidentally, still winning the 100cc junior race.
And you can see the times. The juniors are almost as quick as the seniors, a 41.164.
They may not be running in front, but that's because they staggered the start.
And that's basically so they can score them. Uh-oh, problems in turn number 2. We got one stalled down on the infield. Trying to get off the racetrack. That's not a good place to be down there in turn number 2.
That is, yeah, that's not, you're just basically hoping that people slow down for you. Don't
Absolutely.
get a little greedy or a little impatient. And that's the 1-9 car.
Oh, that's Keck?
That's Caleb Keck, yep.
Tough
He
break.
was in 3rd place.
Yep, tough break for Keck. He's had a rough day.
We've got a change here at the top with the senior race.
I was going to say,
Sessler's in first now. Schrader falling back to 2nd.
Boy, as big a lead as Schrader has, I got to wonder if something's not awry on the 21. I'll tell you what, though, Brian, Ethan Barrett, I've been impressed with him all day. He had some problems in the first heat, but he has been solid. Boy, is that... Schrader, your new leader, as he gets Sessler back as they go into turn number 4.
Look at that. That's a good battle.
Great battle. And Barrett right there in the 3rd spot.
Well, things have tightened up in the senior race, made it interesting.
Schrader gonna win this deal?
Let's see. It's gonna come down to this. And
oh, they missed the leader. He's going down the hill into turn number 2. It is. It's well lit, but it's tough to see, especially if you're trying to watch the entire field. But Schrader, he's going to have one to go this time by. Chief starter Phil Pence. Here it comes.
There's one more lap. This will be, now it gets interesting. All right. Sessler was battling for first. Now he's just doing everything he can in the hairpin to hang on to 2nd place.
That's right. Barrett's all over him.
And that might be just what Schrader needs to hang on.
No doubt.
Win this thing.
No doubt. And look who's sitting 4th. The 688 of Stefanova Nikhil. The guy's just magic like that. I think Sessler's going to be able to hang on here.
And he's coming down the chicane with several car lengths lead. Now into the straightaway, he's throwing his arms up, and it is Schrader who pulls away and wins, and able to hold off Jake Sessler, who finished in 2nd, who himself was able to hold off Ethan Barrett. Please stay with us. Up next is the MGP Sheet Metal Tag Cadet. More racing action to come.
Welcome back. I'm here with Caleb, the winner, and you had a great lead and then you lost it all. You want to kind of explain what happened out there?
So what happened out there was because I hit the last turn curb, it bounced my needle out of place, which works the top and the bottom end. So it did a full 360. So basically my max RPM went from like 15.5 all the way down to like 12.5, which is very bad, which is why I lost so much speed. And then I lost my huge lead, went down to 3rd place, and fixed it and went all the way back up to 1st and won the race.
Okay, so what was sort of your game plan once you lost your lead? Like, how were you going to get it back?
Once I sent it back to normal, I just had to push just to try and get back up front. And then once I got past the 305, I was able to reel in the 974. Then once I got past the 974, I just clean sailed the victory.
Right on. And how does it feel to seal the victory now?
It would have been, it's a lot harder, it's a lot better now because I could have actually not finished if I didn't know what I was doing. But it's a little helpful tool to know how to deal with the needles.
Help to deal with the needle on the fly. Well, right on. Congratulations. Back to you guys up there.
Thanks, Siggy. More racing action to come here on SWX and the Saturday Night Shootout. Stay with us. Up next, it's the Tag Cadet race. And we are back at the Tri-City Kart Club, race number 3 on the docket here. It is the MGP Sheet Metal Tag Cadet race. 8 to 12-year-olds. These karts going 60 miles an hour at top speeds. It's going to be another great battle. Brian Levitan alongside Terry Bridges. Terry, why don't you break this one down for us?
Well, starting on the pole, the 16 of Ben Corkery. Guy's got a target on his back. He's fast everywhere. On the outside, Roman McCurdy in the 31. Row number 2 will be the 8 of Forrest Adams and the 12 of Kennedy Spear. Row number 3 will be the 88 of Max de Guzman and the 29 of Jonathan Walker. Row number 4 will be Arif KB and Charlie O'Neill.
Headed into the hairpin right now, awfully crowded, and we make it through without any issue. But this is pretty tight right now. Corkery, it looks like Roman McCurdy's actually jumped ahead of Ben Corkery, who began on the pole.
Absolutely. It looks like Forrest Adams got the jump too, because Adams is in the 2nd spot, Corkery is 3rd, and Kennedy Spear is 4th.
Into the dog leg. McCurdy has about a 3 kart length lead on the rest of the competition. Good battle there between Corkery and Adams, 2nd, 3rd.
Well, I'll tell you what, Forrest Adams has come a long way. Oh, Corkery going to try it into 1.
Yeah, he's got the inside and does make the pass there, and now it looks like McCurdy has some problems himself. Excuse me, Adams has some problems himself with Spire.
Sure does. Kenny Spear she's tough. She's been tough all day. Sitting in the 4th spot.
That is awfully tight, 1 to 4. That's a lot of fun. Into the dog leg they go.
Through turn number 6, coming to the chicane, heading to turn number 7. Roman McCurdy.
He's starting to feel a little heat there from Forrest Adams.
Sure is.
Let's see what happens in the hairpin.
Oh, that's Corkery. Adams has fallen to 3rd.
That's Corkery can't quite get enough on him to make a move. It's a long race, though. I think they're all being a little bit patient here, which is smart as they go through that horseshoe and into the dog leg. But that's 1 to 4, staying pretty tight together. Usually you don't see that.
Ben Corkery in the 2nd spot. He was your quick qualifier. Oh, he's going to try it into 1. There goes Corkery. Oh, he stuck it. New leader, Ben Corkery. Look at Forrest Adams. He's going to get McCurdy into turn number 2.
That's where you make the big passes in 1, 2, and 3. There's so much braking that has to go on. If you don't hit that right, people can zip underneath you.
Absolutely. Corkery now.
He can't get too comfortable there in 1st place because now is that Corkery or McCurdy?
That's Corkery.
Okay, yeah, I got you. That's right. You're correct.
Forrest Adams is in the 3rd spot. Spear is 4th, and Arif KB in the 11. Rounds out the top 5. Good shot there going into turn number 1 down the hill.
This time Corkery navigates it pretty well through those 3 turns.
Forrest Adams now all over the backside of Corkery as they exit turn number 4, heading into 5.
He's just sitting there waiting for a mistake.
That's just it. That's the strategy that comes in, Brian. You got to kind of bide your time, see where you're strong, and see where they're weak.
Able to pull in close there during the chicane a little bit, and then Corkery pulls away.
Great shot into turn number 2. Wow.
It's been those 4 guys and gal. Corkery, Adams, McCurdy, and Spear. And then everybody else.
Arif KB in the 5th spot. Jonathan Walker in the 29 is 6th. Max de Guzman in the 88 is 7th. And Charlie O'Neill is 8th in the 18 machine. McCurdy's there. I think he's got the speed. I think he's just waiting to see what happens here.
Top 4 has remained unchanged, though. Corkery, Adams, McCurdy, and Spear. Boy, it's getting tight now. It looks like Adams wants to make that move on the inside, but he gets the door shut on him by Corkery.
Just doing what his mom taught him. Shut the door behind you.
That's right. That was good defensive driving by the number 8 car. And he's able to open up a cart length, as they go into the hairpin.
Boy, Kenny Spears right there too. Game of cat and mouse going on right now for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. You know, Brian, Ben Corkery, everywhere he goes, is usually the fastest guy. So that kid comes in with a target on his back just about at every racetrack he shows up to.
It looks like he's got a target right now because they're all really aiming right for his back. Corkery's been able to hang on to the lead here for several laps now as he heads into the hairpin. But by no means is this race a done deal, as
Forrest Adams, Roman McCurdy, and Kennedy Spear all wanting a piece of Ben Corkery.
Yeah, they're all right there, and it looks like Adams is ready to make a move again. Corkery able to shut the door again.
Oh, look at this move. Spear gets by McCurdy for the 3rd spot in turn number 5. Slick little move by Kennedy Spear. Corkery, Forrest Adams, Kennedy Spear, and Roman McCurdy as they head into turn number 1.
Just seems like Corkery is able on that back straightaway there before the chicane to pull away and give himself just enough room in the hairpin, and then turns 2 and 3 to maintain that lead.
He's a great little wheel man.
Kind of knows where his spots are on the track and where he gets separation. Here's where he gets into a little bit of trouble, though. Look at that. Boy, looked like Adams might have almost got spun out there.
Adams is knocking on the door. You know, we're talking about Adams, but look at Kennedy Spear. She's really close to gap. She's all over the backside of Forrest Adams now.
That might be the closest they've been coming out of the chicane in a little while. And that's going to make the hairpin awfully interesting. Let's see what happens. Corkery able to hang on.
Boy, what a battle for the lead. A 4-way battle. Ben Corkery, Forrest Adams, Kennedy Spear, and Roman McCurdy.
Adams making a move in the horseshoe, and I think he's got it.
Sure does. Slick little move by Forrest Adams. Just when you thought Corkery had the speed, there it is.
They are bunched up inches apart from each other. I mean, look at this. Less than a cart between each and every one of them.
Corkery going to try it back.
And
into one.
He's got the room there.
Boy. Whew. They are going at it. And Corkery's got to be careful. Kennedy Spears right there.
You are correct. Spears trying to make that move on the inside just like Adams did the last lap.
Got it. Listen to the crowd. They go wild. Kennedy Spear into the 2nd spot. Corkery goes to 3rd.
Slams it shut as they head into the dogleg. And that's been good news for Forrest Adams. Able to take a little breath there.
Absolutely. Wow, she is flat flying.
So it's Adams, Spear, Corkery, and McCurdy. Corkery tried to make a move on Spear to no avail. And now look at this, it's McCurdy trying to do the same thing here in the horseshoe against Corkery.
Boy, this is some great racing action.
Forrest, Adams, and Spear pulling away.
Here you go, Brian, the one to go.
And Spear tried to make a move on the straightaway.
Watch this. Oh, watch this, Corkery.
Boy, right. Wow, this is just, there goes Spear on the outside into the horseshoe.
This will be big if Forrest Adams can hang on to win this. This kid has worked awful hard.
Spear again trying on the outside. Able to shut it on Corkery. Try to sneak underneath. Here they go. Final turn. And it is Adams, then Spear, Corkery,
and McCurdy.
Wow.
How big is that for Forrest Adams? Wow,
And so that concludes our MGP Sheet Metal Tag Cadet race. Once again, the winner, Forrest Adams. We'll be back with more racing action here on SWX. You are watching the Saturday Night Shootout.
Welcome back. Now, you made some very key moves there at the end of the race to steal first. How did that, what was going through your head?
I couldn't believe that I could get first. I mean, after Ben passed Roman, I was like, oh gee, I can't get first. And then once I passed Roman, once he passed him, I was like, I might have a chance. But then once Ben was defending, it was just really hard. And then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna send it up.
Just gonna send it, I like that. So how did it feel once you crossed the finish line and you saw that checkered flag waving?
It felt awesome.
Felt awesome? And then was that your dad over there that is your coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty proud of you. What are you guys gonna do now to celebrate your victory?
We're gonna go to Rock the Rio and Scusa Supernats, and I'm gonna eat a lot of Oreos.
You're gonna eat a lot of Oreos. It sounds like the meal of a champion. So congratulations, back to you guys.
Thanks, Sigmund. Lots of exciting racing action to come here on SWX. You are watching the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout presented by Almond Asphalt. And we are back here at the Tri-City Kart Club and the famed road course race track that everybody has come to know and love here for the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout presented by Almond Asphalt. And we have yet another great race, the Total Energy Tag Junior, 12 to 15-year-olds. These karts go up to 65 miles an hour. And Terry, this is another terrific field of drivers, of talented drivers from all over the P&W.
Absolutely. On the point will be the 6 of Jacob Brinka. Join him on the outside, the 007 of Spencer Fricky. Keep your eye on him. Row number 2 will be Laura Lee Owen in the 422 and Jonathan Miles in the 11. Mateo Alfano and Tegan McNeil in the 5M make up row number 3. And row number 4 will be William Ginn in the number 18.
7 karts in this particular race. They are all packed in. This will be another great race here. A lot of great drivers. A smaller field, but lots of talent throughout. As the smoke flies.
And here we go.
Into the hairpin. There are 3 wide at points.
Boy, Fricky jumped out to he got a great start.
And he's able to,
no, he's third.
Is he third? It's hard to see where things have settled out.
I think that's Owen, your leader. The 4.22.
They were bunched up pretty good in the hairpin, and things sorted out thereafter. And it's William Ginn after the first lap, followed by Jacob Rinka, Spencer Fricke, and then Jonathan Miles. They round out the top four. Laura Lee Owen in 5th place.
Yep, keep your eye on Lorelei Owen. Once that thing comes in, she's been a monster.
Ginn with a little bit of room to breathe, about 2 karts on Rinka.
Ginn, Rinka, Fricke, and Miles, your top 4.
And they're spread out pretty good right now. It's really the battle of 3 and 4 there, Fricke and Miles at this point.
That's really the only race going on at the moment.
Although I'll say this, Ginn and Rinka seem to be running about the same. Well, now it looks like Ginn is opening up a little bit of a lead here in the back straightaway. Wow. As he heads into the chicane, he picked up a couple of kart legs.
He's been money all day. Rinka's tough. Fricke was there. I mean, he runs 2nd in the final heat race, but yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
Well, far and away the fastest lap was Ginn. He was a little over half a second faster than Rinka.
A 39.663. Wow. That's putting up a pretty big number.
Yeah, he is starting to really build up a nice little lead here. Even faster this time around than he was the last time, by about 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, William Ginn is money right now. He just got to keep it on the racetrack, I do believe.
Sometimes you talk about setup. Looks like he's set up pretty good right now.
And he has been all day. They've made the right call for both the heat races and looks like in this final. But as we know, Brian, a lot can happen. Long way to go.
Mistakes can happen. Something could go wrong. Some sort of a malfunction. There is a little bit of a luck element to racing.
Boy, there's more than a little bit. Ginn was your quick qualifier. He's going close to what he qualified at, a 39.371.
And that's in a race. That's pretty good. Of course, he doesn't have much to contend with there, being out front with no lap traffic and just flying through. It's amazing how fast these cars go, and sometimes you take it for granted how easily they seem to navigate these tight turns. I mean, this is a road course. It feels like a long track. There's a lot of turns, 7, depending on how you score it. And man alive, I mean, it's only 5/8 of a mile. That's quite a bit of turn.
It is, and it's constant focus. You got to hit your marks. You got to be there at all times.
And the deep braking you have to do as you come out of the hairpin, and then go into 2 and 3, and then you got to accelerate right away going into the horseshoe. But then you got to be prepared to almost stop on a dime to make that sharp turn again.
You know, and if you're Ginn, you got this big of a lead. You also got to keep in mind too, you know, your pace. Sometimes you don't have to run that super hard pace. You just need to keep enough to stay where you're at and keep the distance the same.
39.336. That's like right up with his qualifying time. So
that's that's quicker than his qualifying time.
Yeah, so he's not taking your advice.
Yep. At all. Rinka in the 2nd spot. Fricke is 3rd. Jonathan Miles is 4th. And actually, Brian, Jonathan Miles is actually quicker than Spencer Fricke. It's just all about track position.
And that's where the experience comes in. That's where the great driving comes in, where maybe your machine isn't doing exactly what you want it to do, but you can milk it for everything it's worth. you can play the track in a way where you can maintain position.
It's a lot more than just turning the steering wheel, that's for sure. Boy, again drops it some more. 39,274. Wow,
he's in another zip code.
Yeah, he's
than
flying.
Everybody else.
He is absolutely flying right now.
Let's see this one here. Even faster, 39.274.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And with no pressure. When you got that size of a lead, you can kind of just drive your line. You're not having to drive defensive, and you're not trying to work other traffic. So, but William Ginn, taking nothing away from him, he is flat wheeling it.
Some ways I would think it could be hard to pace yourself and know. You have to really know what your marks are and how hard you can hit them and kind of drive within yourself and run your own race because you don't have that person on your wheel pushing you. Am I right?
That is absolutely right. And that's what that racing maturity is all about. That's why these stepping stone classes like this are just crucial.
Well, Ginn is in line for the win. We have to go there eventually. But Rinka, Fricke, and Miles also running very strong with some pretty fast laps.
Well, look at Fricke's time. He's ran, his best time's been a 39.382. I mean, that's not far off your leader. It's just all about the track position.
That's Ginn going by. Now Rinka and Fricke.
I think Fricke might be closing the gap on Rinka.
He closed about 0.6 of a second.
There he goes to turn 2. Look at that.
Yeah, he shut the door pretty quick. So he's got a chance here to make a move, maybe in the horseshoe or come in the dogleg.
Fricke is coming.
A battle for second, shaping up to be something fun to watch.
And that's what I mean by setup. Fricke's cart now has come in. Rinka maybe had a little bit of a setup that came in earlier. I mean, Fricke has really made up some ground.
He's got a chance to make a move here.
They come up the hill to turn number 3, Fricke.
Rinka just pulls away a little bit there, gives himself room heading into that horseshoe. He needed it.
And again, that's what you said when you got to drive within yourself. If you're Fricke, you've got to pace yourself. You can't overdrive. You want to just keep doing what got you the gains, because they can go away as quick as they came.
It looks like Rinka is able to open up a little bit of a cushion.
Well, Rinka's got to know he's there, because you can actually hear when somebody's coming up behind you.
Yeah, they are taking that. They took that third turn pretty tight. You could hear the screeching of the brakes. Rinka's really got to race perfectly at this point.
Sure does. It's his to lose. Meanwhile, William Ginn is just another zip code.
Another galaxy at this point.
39,
zip code.
257.
His laps keep getting faster. Actually, his last lap was 39.222. That's his fastest.
That's his best lap. His last lap was a 39.257.
Oh, yeah, wow,
so
there you
he's
go.
backing that up.
He's backing to that. Oh, I got you. There you go.
Phil Penn's going to give the one to go, I do believe, this time by. There it is, Brian.
There's the white flag. All William Ginn needs to do is just hit his marks. Stay on the straight and narrow. Stay on the course. He'll be fine. That battle, though, for second place between Rinka and Fricke. That'll be one to watch here as they come through turns 2 and 3. Rinka's still hanging on. And able to zip through the horseshoe without issue. Fricke's going to move. It's going to be here in the dogleg.
It's going to have to be.
It's on this back straightaway where Rinka's been able to pull away a little bit past few laps as William Ginn wins. And Rinka hangs on for second place. So our winner here in the Total Energy Tag Junior, William Ginn, followed by Jacob Rinka, Spencer Fricke, Jonathan Miles in fourth place, and then Tegan McNeil rounding out the top five. Great race, great battle here, Terry, for second and third place.
Absolutely. Great job by Spencer Fricke to come back, make up that ground on Jacob Rinka. But just a little bit too little too late.
And how about this, William Ginn for that last lap? He slowed it down a little bit, but he had a 39, under 39.2, I think, for his second to last lap. So he kept getting faster and faster as this race went on. Up next, it is the PCA World Formula Race. Stay with us.
Welcome back. I'm here with the two-time winner here tonight during the Saturday Night Shootout, and you had a pretty commanding lead coming down that final stretch. I even saw you wave your finger a little bit when that checker flag went up. How did that feel?
Yeah, it was amazing. It's one of the best races we've had all season. Can't wait to do it again in Sonoma, California at Rock.
Awesome. And now this is your second win tonight, correct?
Yeah.
And how does it feel to go home with 2 wins under your belt?
It feels awesome. It's definitely a season changer.
All right, well, thank you so much. And that's all. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Siggy. Much more racing action to come here at the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout, presented by Almond Asphalt. You are watching SWX. And we are just about ready to go racing our 5th race here at the Tri-City Kart Club for the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout, presented by Almond Asphalt. And we have been burning a lot of rubber on the asphalt tonight. That's for sure. Brian Levitan alongside Terry Bridges. And this is the PCA World Formula Race. These drivers 15 and older. These karts going 55, 60 miles an hour at top speed. And 9 drivers in this field. Terry, it should be a pretty good battle.
Absolutely. The 344 of Mike Gutenberger on the pole. David Shorn joins him on the outside. Rowdy Brian Green in the 45 and Sean Keys in the 303. Marcus Eith and Mason Smart, who was your quick qualifier. And we are underway.
Looks like David Shorn took the early lead there going in the hairpin. Another shakeup.
Gutenberger takes it, turn number 2.
Took it right back. He started out on the pole.
Been fortunate enough to watch Mike Gutenberger since he was a junior. And this kid is solid, as is David Shorn, many-time national champion. Same with Brian Green in the 3rd spot. I mean, this is a loaded field. Just because they're 4 cycles doesn't mean there's not good drivers in this class. Rowdy Brian Green in the 3rd spot.
David Shorn is not willing to play for second place right now.
Shorn never is. I mean, sometimes you got to take what you can take, but oh no, if Shorn could get up there, he'd be right after it.
He's really trying to catch up. Might be tough to do though early on, the way Gutenberger's moving along.
You know, a lot of these guys have race teams. They have people helping them. 3rd spot, Brian Green. He shows up to every event by himself. He does all of his own wrenching. He does all of his own tuning. He goes out and practices. I mean, Brian Green is a racer's racer. The guy just...
He's old school.
He is old school.
That's the way they used to do it, old school.
Yep.
And they still have a lot of drivers like that. I can think of like the Wimmer brothers, Chris and Scott, when I was in Wisconsin. They used to do that. Their family had a construction company, and they tune up their own cars when they do ARCA, and then eventually went up to NASCAR. But there's certainly the Earnhardts come to mind.
Oh yeah, you know, absolutely.
All those families. So.
But they had more than one person. Brian Green is one and himself. He's doing it all, and it's almost unheard of this day and age to be able to do it by yourself. But he does it. He's running 3rd. Marcus Eith in the 4th spot. Sean Keys in the 303 is 5th. And Mason Smark in the 6th spot.
Gutenberger's last lap was about 0.7 of a second faster than everybody else. And he's starting to really pull away.
Yeah, Gutenberger's one of the best, man. He stepped away for a little while. Life got in the way a little bit. He went and did some military service, but I'm telling you, Mike Gutenberger can wheel.
Gutenberger's in cruise right now.
Sure is.
There is such a thing in kart racing. I don't think there is.
Absolutely there is. And Gutenberger's one of those drivers that knows how hard he needs to run. If he needs to run harder, he will. If he doesn't, he'll back up. He's a real savvy racer.
It's about working smarter, not necessarily harder.
That's
pushing
correct.
Your kart harder than it needs to be pushed.
Yeah, Gutenberger looks mighty good right now.
And a little bit of distance between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place in this PCA World Formula race. Still have, believe it or not, 6 more races. Got the shifter lights, the shifter heavy, the junior 1-206, the tag heavy, the junior 2-206, and then of course the big finish with the senior 206. So a lot of great races, a lot of great drivers still to be seen. Might be seeing some of these drivers we've seen already a little bit more too as well.
Absolutely, a lot of them pulling double duty. Filipenko gonna try it on Smark in turn 1, and he got it.
We're looking at the 2-3 battle between Shorn and Green. Last lap, Green did have a slight edge on Shorn, so closing the gap a little bit there.
Boy, Filipenko has just come alive here.
There is Gutenberger on the back straightaway. And behind him there, entering the chicane, Shorn and Green. You can see the distance between 1st place and 2nd and 3rd. But the battle right now between 2nd and 3rd heading into the hairpin. That is getting tighter. There you see it. Shorn and Green.
You know, kind of a feel-good deal, Brian, is Mason Smark, the 777, your quick qualifier. His parents been married for 28 years today. So big shout out to Paul and Jennifer Smark.
I got to go hit them up for some advice so I can figure out how to make that happen.
They're very good people. And they raised a fine young man in Mason Smark. He's doing a great job out there.
There you see that battle for 2nd and 3rd.
I think Shorn's just got just a tick more top end than Brian Green.
There it is. Got a little loose there as he went into that turn. There is Gutenberger.
Oh, look at Rowdy now. Oh, I thought he was going to try it there in turn number 4.
Here's the battle for 2 and 3. Shorn just holding off Green. That is a fun little fight between those guys.
Boy, look at Rowdy close the gap as he come into the chicane.
Yeah, they look good. Shorn is doing everything he can there. There he goes, Green on the inside. He's got the lane on the inside into the hairpin.
Got it. But Shorn. Oh, Green goes around.
A little too rowdy.
A little too rowdy is right. As Shorn put a little crisscross applesauce on him. Oh, tough break for Brian Green.
A good recovery, able to still stay out there on the course. And you got to respect that.
You do, but you know under his helmet he's angry because, man, that's a deep hole to dig yourself out of. He had a shot at 2nd.
And we are headed into the final lap. It's been smooth sailing for Mike Gutenberger as he whips
sure
around the
has.
hairpin.
Absolutely. And that spin, Brian, for Brian Green with coming up on the 1 to go. Heartbreak.
So it looks like Gutenberger and Shorn are going to run away with 1st and 2nd place in this one. Couple of dominant races we've seen here from Mike Gutenberger, and before him, William Ginn. Mike Gutenberger putting the thumbs up as he takes the checkers in the PCA World Formula Race. David Shorn finishing in second place. Marcus Eith,
correct,
in third place after the spin out from Brian Green. Then it's Sean Keys and Green rounding out the top 5 after the spin out. Lots more racing action to come. Next up, it's the Wicked Fab Shifter Light. You are watching the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout presented by Almond Asphalt on SWX.
Welcome back. Now, you completely dominated out there on the track, had a massive lead going into the white and the checker. How does that feel as a driver?
Oh, when the white flag comes out, it's a relief, because the whole time you're thinking, oh, the guy behind me is sitting there waiting to pass me going onto the last lap. And it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but when you come by through the checkered and you won the race, it's pretty awesome.
Did you know you had such a dominating lead? Were you looking over your shoulder the whole race, or?
No, I don't really like to look over my shoulder too much. It kind of can make me nervous if I look behind me and then see there's a guy right by there. It can lead to some mistakes.
All right, so you don't like to drive looking in the rear view. That's probably smart. Mm-hmm. Right on. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you.
Back to you guys up at the desk.
Thanks so much, Ziggy. Much more racing action to come here at the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout presented by Almond Asphalt. And welcome back to the Tri-City Kart Club. We are getting ready for racing action. This one is going to be a good race, folks. It's the Wicked Fab Shifter Light, and we are ready to roll. Connor Wick on the pole, and we are going in heavy into that hairpin.
Oh, look at Becklin. Becklin and Wick. This is the battle I've wanted to see all day, Brian.
Cooper Becklin, Connor Wick, Caleb Schrader, Andrew Zimmer, just some of the big names in this Shifter Light race tonight.
Yeah, and sitting fourth is the 3 of Cole Hager. But the battle is going to be between Wick, I believe Wick, Becklin, and Zimmer.
And Wick was able to survive that initial hairpin, turn 1, and hang on to the lead. But who knows for how much longer, because Becklin's all over him.
Oh, Becklin got it. Oh, Wick.
Wick was able to shut the door. Becklin almost spun out there, looked like.
Becklin got by. It was Wick that almost spun out. Cole Hager sitting in the 3rd spot. Joe Criscione is 4th. And I think Cooper Becklin wants to prove a point here. Connor Wick's brother Kyle's the #1 shifter driver in the country. So for Becklin, this is kind of a statement.
Had the chance to talk to Connor Wick a little bit. Said that the racing gene is just in the family.
Always has been.
Uncle got him into it. Wanted to do it because his bigger brother Kyle was doing it. And he's just as good. Because has had just as much success almost.
Boy, Becklin going to work. Wow.
There was a little bit of a melee in that heat as well. Some of these big name drivers like Zimmer towards the back of the race right now in 12th, just because they had to start in the back. But he's got newer tires.
Well, Zimmer had some problems on Friday. Got in a melee during practice, tore the whole back of the kart up. So they've kind of been behind the 8 ball all weekend. They got it out in the heat race and broke something there. So Zimmer's still trying to sort things out here.
Looks like Becklin's been able to pull away a little bit as they weave through the horseshoe.
You know, and if I'm honest, I'm a little bit surprised. Not that Becklin's not that good. I just thought it would be a closer.
Now here's the thing about these shifter lights, and this is just for the casual fan, somebody like you know this, but this is what blew me away, that these shifter lights can go up to 80 miles an hour, 80 plus. On this track. The track owner or president, Craig Chiesa, was saying 84 is the top speed shifter lights have done on this track. It's pretty incredible.
It is.
I mean, when you think about the turns and
in
how
500
close
feet, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's out of control. You've got to have a little bit of, you know,
insaneness in you.
Yeah, a little bit of like a touch of crazy, just a splash of crazy is necessary.
Correct. It takes some big feet to drive one of these things, let me tell you.
Well, that last lap, Cooper Becklin putting a little distance between himself and Connor Wick.
A 38.480? Are you kidding me?
Moving.
Really moving. Hager a 38.405. I mean, Cole Hager has not been at this that long.
You know, fastest lap time, by the way, Caleb Schrader that last lap. He looked pretty good earlier on.
Yeah, 37.789. Wow-wee. But again, Brian, like we talk about, track position is so crucial here. Especially when you're bunched up. If you get behind somebody, you might be faster, but it takes you a while to get by. That's just allowing the leader to get that much further out. Boy, Becklin, I gotta say, Becklin looks mighty good.
Yeah, he zips through there.
Wick in the second spot. Third is Cole Hager. Fourth is Schrader. Fifth is Joe Criscione in the 00.
Now, according to this race monitor Dealy Bopper, looks like Wick is picking up a little bit of speed on Becklin. So
yeah, Wick just went a 37.964. So yeah, he picked up the pace quite a bit. I'm just impressed with Cole Hager in the 3C in the third spot, doing a just absolutely fantastic job.
There goes Becklin. Followed hotly in pursuit is Connor Wick. Just seems like Becklin's got to make a little bit of a mistake here or something to let Wick
absolutely
close the gap a little bit.
Yep.
That's too good of a racer right there.
Little too late for Wick, I think. He was running some 37.6, which is blazing, but well, I don't know. I don't know.
Jeez. Connor Wick's best lap was this last lap.
He went a 6:01, then backs it up with a 37.690. Wow.
But still behind by two plus seconds. It's a pretty sizable gap.
Yes, it is.
There is Cooper Becklin.
And look who's coming.
Caleb Schrader in the 21.
So Wick not out of the woods yet.
He's got to start worrying about hanging on to second place at this point. There you see the 19 of Cooper Becklin. He wraps around that dogleg.
Great shot. Becklin, Wick.
There you go. Wick and Schrader in a battle.
Yep.
As they head into the hairpin.
Cole Hager doing a great job in that 3C. Wow-wee. He should be super tickled with this performance. Cooper Becklin, Connor Wick, Schrader, and Cole Hager. You know, Brian, sometimes where you finish isn't always indicative of your performance, and that's the way I feel about Hager right now. He's doing a fabulous job, although Christione gets by, so I don't know what's going on here.
Sometimes it's just what you do with the race car, and it may be.
Oh. Boy.
There's Cooper Becklin all alone. And Connor Wick able to get some separation between himself and Caleb Schrader after they were close for the while.
They were. A little breathing room for Wick.
You can see in those turns there, the cooler track, the cooler tires, they're getting loose there. So that is something to be mindful of. That's what, if you're in second or third place, you're hoping for. Because I don't think anyone's touching Cooper Becklin.
Not at the moment, not running 37.5s. Although Wick went a 37.689 or 6.59. Yeah, I think something happened to Hager. Well, maybe Christione picked up the pace. Christione can wheel it. Good solid drive by the 00.
Less than 2 laps to go in this race. The shifter light. This is the high-flying action here, the high-speed racing that everybody comes to love here at the Tri-City Kart Club. 1 lap to go. This is Cooper Becklin's race to win. Connor Wick in second, Caleb Schrader in the third spot, followed by Joe Christione, and then Cole Hager in the number 5 spot.
Great shot of Becklin there.
Into the dog leg.
For the final time, Brian.
He has pretty much led this thing.
He owned it.
Throughout. I mean, he didn't start on the pole, but he took over pretty much right away.
Yeah, he owned it.
And there he is, Cooper Becklin, your winner, followed by Connor Wick in second, Caleb Schrader third, Joe Christione, and then Cole Hager with a solid showing in the 5th spot, Terry.
Connor Wick puts down a 37.4 on his final lap, so he was getting quicker.
Much more racing action to come. You are watching the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout, presented by Almond Asphalt on SWX.
Welcome back. Now I saw you out there, you were dominating on the track, you were flying around corners, you were passing people, even some of them you passed twice. What does it mean to drive with such confidence for you?
It was more like I really wanted to win this weekend. I canceled a bunch of stuff to come out and race this weekend, and I messed up my qualifying, didn't get qualified to start last, and then I was like, shoot, I'm 6th, so I had to get a good start and just drove to the end.
Awesome. So that competitive nature is always there, and that pushed you to win today. Do you carry that into every race?
I try to carry it into anywhere, anything I do, just all types of sports, all anything. It's just super competitive for me.
Right on. And so how does it feel now that you've got the victory here today?
It feels really good. I mean, I've worked super hard this weekend. Destroyed a kart, had braking issues. I couldn't even drive for a couple sessions, and came out and won it, so it was good, really good.
Well, good. I dig the hat, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Back to you guys up at the desk.
Thanks so much, Siggy. Much more racing action to come. You are watching the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout, presented by Almond Asphalt. And welcome back to the Tri-City Kart Club here in Horn Rapids. Another big race here. This one, we're going from the lights to the heavies. This is the Lovitt's Coatings Shifter Heavy. These drivers 15 and over, and again, they will be moving, Terry. 80 miles an hour at top speed.
Here we go. Oh, and Rusty Lingle with a great start. Worley gonna have to fall into second.
Look at that. Boy, that is not waiting.
No.
And they're bunching up here in turns 2 and 3.
And this shifter heavy is a Velox field. I think there's 8 or 9 Velox chassis in this. Your leader, 3rd spot, 4th spot, 5th spot, 6th spot.
And describe those chassis for people. Those are the white and orange ones, correct?
That's the orange and yellow ones there. Jason Hall is the importer, and man, he is just taking it by storm.
Great battle for 1st and 2nd between Worley and Lingle. Lingle in 1st.
Not for long. There goes Worley.
He gets it right back here after losing it to start the race. Justin Williams in 3rd. Gunther Hohagen in 4th, followed by Britt Robinson.
Midnight Motorsports is who Ricky Worley drives for. He and his brother own it.
Worley in that number 3 car. Lingle in the number 73. We are watching the Lovitt's Coatings Shifter Heavy Race in the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout here at the Tri-City Kart Club, presented, of course, by Almond Asphalt. Great shot there on the straightaway.
And this is Ricky Worley at his best. This guy makes very few mistakes, hits his marks, and you'll just see him gradually do his thing. Rusty Lingle, no slouch by any means.
You can just see how well those karts are holding on the turns. He was awfully tight through 2 and 3.
Right. You were saying earlier, you know, when it's hot, it's greasy. As it cools off, everything tightens up, and these karts are just much, much better now than they were this afternoon. Got cool air. The motors love them. They're just awesome. And Worley going to work, doing what he does best. Got a lot of laps here, Brian. Home track.
He can kind of tell. You can almost see it. He knows exactly where he wants to be. Getting a little separation there on that back straightaway.
Absolutely. And you'll watch Worley come down here all the way up to 5th gear. He'll go down 3 into turn 1, up 1 gear, and then back down 2 into turn number 2. So these guys are shifting just a million times a lap. And they make it look easy. You can't even hardly tell they're shifting.
Gaining a little bit of ground there on Lingle is Justin Williams.
He's another one, Brian, that's been solid all day. Just a nice, quiet, nothing fancy run. He's been solid all day long. Gunther Hohagen in the double sevens is 4th, right behind Justin Williams in the 557. $38,484 for Worley, a $38,789 for Lingle. So 3/10.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, it is pretty close.
But Lingle's got to find a way to start shaving off some time.
Absolutely.
Because he's not in 1st place. There you see the 3 and the 73. Beautiful shot. Followed by Justin Williams in the 557.
Yeah, that's a great shot down the front straightaway. I love that. Worley up the hill into turn number 3. Down the short chute into turn number 4.
Just get the feeling Lingle's got to find a way to get faster.
Well, he did.
Worley's not going to make mistakes.
He did. Worley goes a 39,223 to Rusty Lingle's 38,850.
So he flipped it about 0.6.
There you go, but you've got to be consistently like that. You can't have 2 real good ones and then 3 bad ones. You got to be on the money. That's why hitting your marks and staying consistent is so crucial.
This last lap, they were pretty much even. Pretty much ran exactly the same lap.
Wow, an 849 to an 850. There you go, Brian. Justin Williams just off. He's in the 3rd spot.
And there is Ricky Worley. got elbow room on that track right now.
Oh, yeah. You know, and Worley stepped away. He was a shifter driver for a while, stepped away, started a family, but he's been back. And personally, I think he's a very underrated shifter driver. The guy's a quality wheel man. He just doesn't do it enough.
Well, the nice thing about doing kart racing as a hobby is you have a family, and then kids get to be 4 or 5 years old. You can start getting them in a kart.
That's great. Well, that can be good or bad, Brian, because then you got to give up your seat because the kid's running. So, yeah, you're right. But it is that's the beauty of the sport of karting is it's all about family, and they are a huge family. Let me tell you, whether you're this team or that team, everybody is always chipping in and helping one another. It's awesome.
It's a pretty cool community atmosphere, and I think one of the big reasons why this event just keeps getting bigger and bigger. 170 entries this year. That is a new record. They keep breaking that record every year, it seems like.
And that's a testament to this club. Craig Chiesa, Dustin Chiesa, Ricky the Worleys, I mean, Don Miller. I mean, all these sponsors that back this, the county. I mean, it takes a village, Brian, and they're doing it here. It's amazing.
This is the Lovitt's Coatings Shifter Heavy in the Saturday Night Shootout, 7th annual here at the Tri-City Kart Club, presented by Almond Asphalt. Our leader, Ricky Worley, comfortably in front, followed by Rusty Lingle, Justin Williams, Britt Robinson in 4th, and then Steve Seiler in the 5th spot. And it looks a little bit like Lingle is gaining some ground now on Ricky Worley. As we head down the straightaway, look at that gap. It is now basically 3 or 4 kart lengths. As they whip through turn 3 and into the horseshoe. So things might get a little interesting here as this race comes to a close. And some lap traffic for Worley to contend with Lingle right behind him.
Well, and let me just say, Rusty Lingle's nobody to fool with. He definitely looks like he's gaining some ground. He's definitely knocked some time off.
Worley's got the 66 to worry about. Able to navigate that through the hairpin. Actually worked in his favor as Lingle got hung up. I believe that was actually the 64 of Jason Hall. And now it looks like Lingle's catching up a little bit as they head into the horseshoe.
At this point, I think time is in Worley's favor. Getting there is one thing, Brian. Getting by is a whole nother story.
You need another little bit of time.
Yep, absolutely. And Worley's, unless something's going away, I think Ricky Worley's much too savvy for that.
Now less than 2 laps. And it does not seem, as they head into the horseshoe, like Lingle's able to inch much closer. Let's see what happens here on the back straightaway.
There it is, Brian.
Here's the white flag. 1 more lap to go. They zip into the hairpin. Worley able to navigate that without issue. And he's almost automatic through these turns. 2, 3, and 4.
Christina McBride in the 17, her first time out ever in a shifter.
Boy, Lingle going after Worley, almost spun out in the dogleg. Caught the grass a little bit, and that might seal the deal. It will for Ricky Worley. He's going to hang on by 4 kart lengths and get the win over Rusty Lingle here in the Lovitt's Coatings Shifter Heavy Race. Good battle between first and second, but Worley able to hang on and defend his home track.
Absolutely. Justin Williams will end up third. Aaron Dost will be fourth. Steve Seiler will be fifth. Gunther Hohagen sixth. Britt Robinson in the seventh spot. Petri Otavainen will be eighth. Ryan Deaver ninth. Christina McBride in her first outing in a shifter, doing a great job rounding out the top 10. And Jason Hall will finish 11th.
Well, another fantastic race here at the Tri-City Kart Club. You are watching the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout. We have much more racing action to come. Please stay with us.
Welcome back. Now, you had a very convincing lead for the entire time, but it wasn't all easy. So how did it feel once you crossed that finish line?
It was just, it was great. Rusty kept me honest the whole time. So I saw him back there in the corner of my eye, every corner I was on. So I knew I couldn't let up too much. So I just kept trying to push and get to the finish, and didn't let off until I crossed that finish line.
Well, how does it feel also to win on your home track? Because I understand you're from the area, right?
Yeah, I've grown up here, put in thousands of laps around here over the years. And it's just a good feeling overall. I mean, any win's great, but a win on home turf is that extra special.
Nice. Well, congratulations. And that's all from us here. We'll go back up to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Siggy. Much more racing action to come. Stay with us. We are just about ready to go racing.
There it is, Brian.
There it is. This is going to be fun here. Boy, I think they're 4 wide going into that turn initially.
Oh, wow, and we made it.
That was hairy. I can't believe nobody spun out there.
Right?
And it looks like, let's see, whoops.
That's Corkery out front.
Yeah, that's Corkery out front, followed by Kennedy Spear. Two drivers. We saw 1-2 earlier on today.
Absolutely. Colson Chiesa, keep your eye on that 13X. He's in the third spot.
He looked really good in his last heat. I think he won it, so he's certainly pointing in the right direction.
Absolutely. Lewis Dilly, once again, what did I say? 4th spot. This guy is just one of the most quiet performers you'll ever notice.
And there's the move by Kennedy Spear already on the inside. Moving past Corkery for first place.
Oh boy. This is going to be interesting here, Brian. She seems to me to be one of those racers where some perform under pressure, some don't. The more there is, it seems like the better she performs.
And she had a nice move on Corkery. I believe that was in the kid kart race?
Mm-hmm. No, it was in Cadet.
Cadet, excuse me. Let's see if Corkery can return the favor here. He is right on her back right tire. And that's allowed Chiesa to sneak up. Gaining ground as well as Max Herberholz, thank you.
He's in the 4th spot. Lewis Dilly is 5th. Aiden Hanson 6th. And Case McKinney in the 7th spot. Creed Chiesa in the 24 is 8th. So you've seen races both daylight and night. Which do you prefer?
Well, I mean, under the lights, there's a nice air to it. I'm not gonna lie. The best races I've happened to see, for whatever reason, have been during the day. But boy, that was tight. Kennedy Spear hanging on to first place though.
Corkery and Chiesa.
They are in a battle.
And that's exactly what Spear wants.
Yeah. Chiesa is literally glued to his rear fender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you can see right there, it's allowed her to open up about a 2 kart length lead on Corkery. There he's making the move. Doesn't see the opening.
With a yellow waving in turn number 1, either somebody's off.
I'm looking for a car's out somewhere. I don't see it.
Yeah, he's waving that like it's bad, so unless it's way off onto the end of the straightaway.
You know, that's a big advantage for some of the other drivers. Chiesa, Haberholz, Dilly, to get a little bit closer.
I'm not sure what that was all about. That was quite a wave. Usually when you wave it that bad, it's a bad deal, but oh, there's one. They got a shot of it.
Oh, yeah.
I think that must have been in turn number 1, back up against the barriers there.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
I see it.
There,
Yep.
there you go. Yeah, that's not a good spot to be. That can be dangerous.
Kennedy Spear, Ben Corkery, Colson Chiesa. There's your battle for the lead.
And there's Corkery trying to make it on the inside. I think he's got a little bit of room. Boy, Spear does not give an inch, does he? Corkery finally gets by.
That was a sweet little move by Corkery.
Yeah. But Spear wasn't going to let up.
No.
Stubborn.
And look who's coming in the 3rd spot. Chiesa now.
Yeah, he's just biding his time. Kind of letting letting 1 and 2 punch themselves out a little bit.
He's a much improved racer as well, Colson Chiesa. Herbert Holtz, Lewis Dilly, 4th and 5th. Aiden Hanson, I'm surprised he's in the 6th spot. He's been pretty solid all day. Still time. But the 44 of Madison Persinger doing a nice job. 7th spot.
Boy, those top 3, though, I mean, they're any one of those 3 could pull away here. They're pretty much running the same lap right now. They work through the chicane. Down the straightaway, there you see him. Yeah, those lap times are pretty much on point.
You know, and you look at these kids and you think they're still a few years away from having a driver's license.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it is unbelievable.
If they can do this, they can parallel park, no problem. The only issue might be, you know, slowing down for a yellow light.
There you go. Get that racing mode. Ben Corkery. I'll tell you what, that kid's in a race car so much.
Boy, Spear.
I know, pulled out, thought about it.
She's just anxious. Get that top spot. You like that competitive spirit, though. Got another lane in there as they go into the horseshoe. And I think Spear's going to take it back.
Yeah.
Corkery begrudgingly gives it up. And into the dog leg goes Kennedy Spear, back in 1st place.
There you go. That's why it's never over till it's over. These kids are amazing.
That's a fun little battle there.
Absolutely.
In that cadet race, they delivered with one of the better finishes here tonight, and they're delivering again. They are
look at that. Corkery back
clearly
around in
box
turn
office.
number 1.
Wow, how about that?
Yep.
That is lead change number 4 between those 2.
Lap traffic now. Going to play a part in this maybe a little bit.
And how does that benefit Colson Chiesa as they try and navigate that?
Well, you never know. You got to go around that pick, right? So, you know, I mean, sometimes 3rd spot is the catbird seat. You get to sit and watch. How many times have we seen it where 1st and 2nd are out and 3rd goes on to win it? So you just got to be there and make sure you're there to take advantage of any mistakes. That's the main thing. Put yourself in a position to win.
There you see. Wow, look at this. They are all just all over the.
And there's, what did you say about Chiesa?
Yeah, he's in 1st place now. He just took it away. He just is biding his time. Patient. Now, does he have the setup to hold them off, though? That's the question. He's able to open up a little bit of room between himself and Spear and Corkery. So that lap traffic definitely benefited the number 19. Excuse me, number 13 of GSA. Yeah, so it's Corkery and Spear, 1-2, followed by GSA in third. Okay. So
that's Corkery in the 16.
Followed by Spear in the 12, and then GSA in the 13. And now Corkery's pulling away. Now it all of a sudden looks like a totally different race. And there's one lap to go. This is the time to be getting that separation.
There it is, Corkery, Spear, Chiesa, Lewis Dilly, Max Herberholz, Aiden Hanson.
That battle is between 3 cars for second place.
Bowdish currently 8th. Bailey McGuire in the 7th spot in the 66.
Corkery easily navigates that horseshoe. And through the dogleg, that might be all he needs now. A little bit of lap traffic, but probably not enough to slow him down to be caught as he works his way through the chicane. And it looks like Ben Corkery is gonna win this Junior 1-206 race presented by Hanson Racing. Much more racing action to come here at the Tri-City Kart Club. You are watching the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout presented by Almond Asphalt.
Welcome back. Now, I understand you had a fight for first there in the beginning of the race. How was that feeling for you?
It was pretty intense. At first, she started pulling away, but then I caught back up to her and passed her.
Was it any kind of moment of doubt for you out there, or were you pretty confident that you were going to be able to pass them?
I was pretty confident.
Pretty confident. Now, I understand you've just won 2 championships recently. How does this victory tonight feel for you?
Really good.
Really good? Mm-hmm. What are you going to do to celebrate?
I don't know.
You don't know? All right. Well, you don't got to figure it out. You're all done. You just won, so congratulations. Send it back up to you guys.
Thanks, Siggy. Much more racing action to come here. You are watching the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout presented by Almond Asphalt on SWX. And we are back at the Tri-City Kart Club, the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout presented by Almond Asphalt. The racing action heating up race after race. On to the, looks like by my count, the 9th of 11 races tonight. The Midnight Motorsports Tag Heavy, and there are some heavy hitters in this one, Terry.
Oh boy, the front row. Derek Wang, Gabe Ted. Here we go. We're gonna kick it off. Brandon Cusack, I mean, there's so many in here. Adam Smalley, Seth Apple. Boy, we got a lot of stuff going on.
And able to navigate that without any craziness. Derek Wang pulling out in front. Got a couple of karts length lead over the rest of the field through the horseshoe and into the dogleg. There are some big names, as Terry said, but Derek Wang out of Seattle, a national champion, races everywhere. Probably the guy to beat here tonight.
Well, I don't know, it's pretty early to tell. He looks pretty strong at the moment. Cusack, Tesh, Smalley, show me the money, Joey McGuire.
Yeah, that name is perfect.
Yes, it is.
For announcers like you and me. You stole that one from me. You beat me to it, but that's why they pay the big bucks. Good battle there for second. between Cusack and Tesh.
Yeah, keep your eye on the 968 of Adam Smalley as well. In the 6 of Joey McGuire. Nate McCarley in the 633 in the 6th spot. And Seth Apple, Mr. Excitement. This guy is fun to watch.
Looks like Cusack and Tesh closing the gap a little bit on Wang.
And oftentimes that's what will happen, Brian, is two karts will team up, and as you know, like the draft, two are better than one, and they can make up that distance.
I guess that's one of those things where you have to avoid the competitive urge to get by somebody and then use somebody to get closer to the top spot, which you both want.
Absolutely, and you'll see them a lot of times, they'll tap the back of their helmet, and that means, come on, let's team up and try to run down the person in front of us.
And that's what they are doing now.
Oh, Seth Apple gonna go to the bottom. There it is. Mr. Excitement, Seth Apple.
He slides into 4th there, I believe, right?
He does, by Adam Smalley.
And he's starting to catch up to that 3-pack at the front.
And Seth Apple is a wheel man. And he is fun to watch. Deeper in the field, Gracie Brown is 8th in the 812. Carson Coons in the 635 is 9th. And Carson Blakesley, haven't seen him in a while. He's been back. He is 10th. Brian Verdine 11th in the 9. And Parker Dressler in the 12 is 13th.
Derek Wang's fastest lap was the lap he just ran. So a little bit faster than Cusack and Tesh by about 0.2 seconds.
That's close. We'll see if they team up and can make up that distance. Wang looks pretty strong though, Brian.
Out of racing left though. Those three have separated themselves from the field a little bit. Apple had gotten close, but he's fallen back a little bit. About 3 seconds off the leader Wang. Cusack and Tesh, after that last lap, about a half a second behind, so pretty close.
Yeah, Seth Apple in the 4th spot. And you'll see him kind of move up, fall back, move up, fall back. He made a couple good runs early, but it cost him because he went a little bit too hard, looped one time, spun out another time. I mean, so you just got to be careful. You gotta pick your battles.
You can tell that Cusack and Tesh here are trying to team up and draft because they're getting closer.
Yep,
they're
it's
not
working.
competing. They're not competing.
Definitely working.
They're going after the #1 spot. And that's 688 of Derek Wang.
Well, they're both on Ital karts too, so it makes sense for them to team up and work together.
And by not competing, I mean they're competing for first place.
Correct.
Which is ultimately competing. Wang able to get a little bit of space in the back straightaway as they zip through the chicane and down the straightaway.
Well, believe me when I say Derek Wang, by no means, he's a veteran. I mean, he's seen this stuff time and time and time again, so he's no stranger to the pressure.
Been racing 15 years.
Oh,
and the interesting thing about him is nobody in his family rode karts or anything. And he just kind of got into it on his own, just loved the sport, and he's kind of done it on his own.
He's a fantastic wheelman. Very smart, savvy, calculated. He's as good as they get in my book.
It's getting a little bit claustrophobic there for Wang as both Cusack and Tesh are right on his tail. He seems to be able to open up a little bit of space through the dog leg and that back straightaway. That's his comfort zone.
Yep, I was gonna say, sometimes it takes a little time before that pair can work. Now the gap closes a little bit.
Yeah, when they get into this front part of the racetrack where there's a lot more braking through those first 3 turns. But they just haven't been able to get close enough before they get there to make a move.
Well, you know, there's different spots on the racetrack that could be running different gears, so Wang could be a little less on the top end as Cusack or Tesh, and vice versa. So you know, you're always gonna, it's always a give and take.
I saw the 3 sign from the official. I think that's 3 laps left.
No, he was waving he was letting the 15 know that the leaders were coming, and so that he needed to get out of the way. You'll see the official with the blue flag with the yellow stripe. That lets the slower cars know, hey, the leaders are coming up on you. Be sure you give them room. Seth Apple 4th, Adam Smalley 5th, Gabe Sessler, man, has quietly worked up to the 6th spot in the 41. Gabe's another good one.
All righty, here come our leaders.
And they're letting them know. There goes Apple.
There is Derek Wang.
Yeah, he's solid, Brian.
Yeah, he's just kind of,
that
he hasn't
pair is
necessarily
not gaining.
Yeah, they're doing everything they can, and he's just, his car is set up right, and he's just hitting his marks, like you said, and running his own, or racing his own, driving his own race.
And that's what you got to do, man. You can't worry about what's behind you. You just got to go do your thing.
But those two behind him, both Cusack and Tesh, have been working together, and they still can't draft and catch up.
Yeah, Tesh is sort of gapping Cusack at the moment.
Not a lot of time for him, though, to close that gap on Derek Wang, who just seems to be getting a little bit stronger with each and every lap.
Absolutely. Great job by Derek Biddle, pointing over there, letting them know where to go. That's a classy move.
Wang through 2 and 3 like it's automatic. Tesh now on his own, trying to reel in the 688 as Cusack has fallen back.
Seth Apple in the 2 is currently 4th. Gabe Sessler now 5th as he gets by Adam Smalley in the 968. Joey McGuire is 7th in the 6.
If Tesh is going to make a move, it better be now. There's 1 lap to go.
Boy, that went quick. Oh, there goes.
He is getting close, though. He's about a kart length behind going into the 3rd turn. It looks like he's trying to make a move.
Boy, I don't know. We'll see.
Boy, that looks tight. There they go into the chicane. And by a nose, Derek Wang hangs on to beat Gabe Tesh. Boy, that was a close race, and it was at its closest in that final straightaway. He needed another half a lap, and we might have had a different winner.
There you go. But that's what I was talking about. They weren't as fast with Cusack out front, but with Tesh, he got there on his own.
And maybe they just needed to figure that out a little bit sooner. Might have been a different race. But a great job of racing by Derek Wang as he was able to squeeze out a win out of his kart, even though it may not have been the fastest in the end.
And that's what we talked about earlier. Sometimes you don't necessarily have the quickest. You just do what you need to do, and that's what Derek Wang did.
So once again, our winner, Derek Wang, in the Midnight Motorsports Tag Heavy Race. Let's go down to Victory Lane, where our Sigmund Soroka is standing by with a winner.
Thank you, Brian. Now, you held a convincing lead the entire race. Was that the kart? Was that you? What kind of gave you the control on the track?
That was pretty much everything I got. I mean, the kart, to me, whatever it may be, they were right there the whole time. So it was a pretty intense race, even though it looked kind of easy from the outside, I guess.
Okay, and is that sort of a theme that you've been having all day? Like you just managing to stay out in front of everyone, or?
Yeah, like during the heats, I just stayed out in front, and I think everybody had problems, so I pulled away pretty easily. But I knew in the main that they would have something for me, so there it was. But luckily, I was able to hold on. I think one more lap, and I probably would have gotten past.
It's like you said, yeah, it looked easy, but it wasn't. They were right on your tail the whole time. How did it feel once you crossed that finish line?
It was a big sense of relief. I mean, I think they had me like probably another lap or two type of a thing. So it was just a huge relief to just cross the line first.
Yeah, it's a good thing the race didn't go just a couple laps longer. Yeah. Well, that's all from right here. Back up to you guys.
Thanks so much, Siggy. Much more racing action to come here at the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout presented by Almond Asphalt. Up next is the Bass Spray Services Junior 2206. And we are back, ready to go racing here. The Bass Spray Services Junior 2206. They are bunched up, just about ready to go racing. It's going to be a great one here. This is the second to last race in the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout presented by Almond Asphalt. Brian Levitan alongside Terry Bridges. Terry, why don't you break this race down for us as we come around the final?
Well, here we go. Tristan Moore, Corey Rao on the front row. This should be a doozy getting into turn number 1. Ooh. Corey Rao, I'm just going to say this, could really get this thing. He's been running solid all day, and there he is in the second spot. Oh no, that's Fletcher. Corey Rao is third. Keep your eye on the 63. Fletcher, Rao, and Tristan Moore have been solid all day.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 riding pretty tight together. They're pulling away a little bit from the field. Caleb Keck and Grayson Schobert in 4-5.
The Go Show, Grayson Schobert, pretty good wheel in the 855. Look at this, Tristan Moore. Oh, slide job.
Yeah, looks like he got there.
Fletcher, your leader. Corey Rao second, but I think Moore got him.
Yeah, Moore got him on that hairpin, absolutely.
The double fives in the lead, Tegan Fletcher. Wow-wee.
Yeah, Tristan Moore in the 222 is in second place, but Rao, after surrendering second, is right on his heels in third. Any one of those guys could come away with the win.
Absolutely. Keck in the 19, Peyton Jackson in the 918 is fifth. Then Schobert in the 855 is just out of the money in that sixth spot. Here we go, Brian.
Whew. And it looks like Moore was trying to make a move there.
Sure thought about it.
Another opportunity here heading into the horseshoe. Boy, he is waiting for a mistake. Is he going to go on the inside here? No, he's going to hang back.
Whew. I know.
Can he wait any longer?
Little bit early for anything sketchy, if you know what I mean.
I was concerned they were so close they might spin each other out. At this point, Moore is all over Fletcher's behind.
Here we go.
Let's see.
Nope, thought about it.
Yeah, there's just not, didn't have the angle.
A lot of it is how you get off turn number 7. You get that good run, you can kind of feel if you can pull out.
There's a little room, thought about it again, but not quite enough on Fletcher.
How about Caleb Keck doing a nice job in the 4th spot?
In a way, this is allowing some of the other cars to catch up. Those karts in third, 4th, and 5th, they're getting a little bit closer, or they were.
Well, they're working together like we talked about earlier. That's going to allow them as a group.
You can see Moore kind of breaking there a little bit. There's his move. He's got the inside. And he'll take it in the hairpin.
Got it.
Kind of had a feeling it was a matter of time.
Tristan Moore, solid. Tegan Fletcher, though, wow-wee.
Well, Fletcher's got his hands full now with Corey Rao. That's allowing Moore to get a little bit of space there.
Boy, Rao has been good.
He's almost pushing Fletcher back into Moore.
And it seems like the longer the run, the better Corey Rao gets.
Biding his time.
Especially if you know you got a piece, Brian. That's the whole thing. You pull out that element of surprise. You don't want to go too early, but you try some things, you size them up, you see what you got, and then you just kind of lay back and wait. Caleb Keck, Peyton Jackson, Jack Grody, the 017 now into 6, getting by the 855 of Schobert. Preston Fransky, the 405 is 8th. Madison Mears is 9th. And Chase Reynolds in the 68 is 10th early on.
Well, that is tight. Looking at Moore and Fletcher, they're on top of each other. Corey Rao right behind him. They've been this way from the start, Terry.
Absolutely. A three-way battle and two-way battles going on out there right now. There's a 405 of Preston Fransky and Jack Grody in the 017, 5th and 6th going at it.
Just wondering when Corey Rao's going to make his move. It looks like he is right on that bumper of Fletcher. He wants to get by.
But see that gap that's there? If Rao isn't right on the bumper of Fletcher, he's probably not going to go because it's just too tough to pull out and make up that distance. You got to be married on that bumper usually by start finish in order to make that move.
Yeah, it seems like he loses a little bit of speed. He'll catch up on the dog leg here, coming down the back straightaway in the chicane, but he can't maintain on the straightaway.
Yeah, and that could be gear. Be a lot of different things. Look at those three. I mean, they're like a pirouette. Fletcher now all over your leader, Tristan Moore.
That's allowed Rao to hang in there.
Look at the three of them. It's like they're one. What a great shot by the crew there. I mean, you don't get much more one than that.
Got two great drivers here in a battle for first and second. Tristan Moore and Tegan Fletcher. Corey Rao hanging back in third, waiting for a mistake, an opportunity.
See, and there you go. 1 minute you think Rao's out of it, and then boom, there he is.
But at some point, he's got to start making a move if he wants to climb the ladder.
Absolutely.
As we're getting towards, there you
go.
go.
And there it is.
He's got the room. That's actually a little bit of a blessing for Tristan Moore. Uh-oh.
Problems. No.
Where'd they go? What happened?
I think Fletcher went off. I don't think they touched.
Well, right now, Rao's in second. Caleb Keck now jumps up to third place.
There's the 513.
And Fletcher's all the way back to 11th.
That's Lucas Laverne sitting in the infield there.
So the patience paying off for Corey Rao.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if Fletcher just slid off. I didn't see any contact, I don't think.
It was a little bit of a pressure cooker with those three. You just felt like
you knew something was going to happen.
Something could happen.
Yep.
Somebody was getting a little bit heavy with the foot, a little bit impatient, missed the mark somewhere. And that's probably what happened.
There's your leader, Tristan Moore.
He was able to hang. Boy, he was hanging on for dear life for a while there. Now he's
He
in
had some heat, man. He had some real heat.
Now he's in cruise control.
Keck in the 3rd spot. Jackson is 4th. Jack Brody now creeps up to the 5th spot. Grayson Schobert, Chase Reynolds, and Preston Fransky. Yeah, Fletcher back. They got him scored right now in the 11th spot. That's too bad.
Moore just swinging through. Navigating turns 2 and 3.
And you know that kart's dialed. Look at the steering wheel. He barely moves it. He barely has to even move it. That thing's dialed in. Tristan Moore.
He's got a good, what, 10 kart lengths on Corey Rao.
Oh, yeah.
1 lap to go for Tristan Moore. 1 lap separating Moore from winning the Bass Pro Services Junior 206.
Now you're Tristan Moore. The wheels are wobbling. The steering wheel feels loose. The gas pedal feels like it's going to fall off. That's always what happens with 1 to go.
Corey Rao needs a miracle, needs a little help. A mistake, basically, from Tristan Moore to have a chance at stealing a win. I don't think it's going to happen. Down the back straightaway. Goes the 222 and into the chicane. And here come the checkers for 1 Tristan Moore, winning the Bass Pro Services Junior 206, followed in 2nd place by Corey Rao, and then Caleb Keck, Peyton Jackson, and Jack Brody. Once again, our winner on the Bass Pro Services Junior 206, Tristan Moore, and he is in victory lane with our Sigmund Soroka.
Thank you, Brian. Now, it was neck and neck pretty much for you, 2nd and 3rd, as you were going through most of the race, and then one person managed to slip off the track on a turn. What was kind of going through your head in that moment?
I was just trying to go fast. I was pushing it really hard, so I was slowing down the cart. So that's all.
That's all. Did you feel anything when the guy behind you spun out, or were you not bothered? Were you able to recover just fine?
I wasn't bothering.
Wasn't bothered? Was it sort of a relief to not have 2 people right on your tail after that?
Yeah.
So how did it feel once you crossed that finish line?
I was super happy.
That's all from us here. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Siggy. 1 more race to go here in the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout presented by Almond Asphalt. It's the Miller Lawn Care Senior 206, and it's up next on SWX. And welcome back, folks, to the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout presented by Almond Asphalt. Brian Levitan alongside Terry Bridges here, and Terry, they are getting ready to line up the Miller Lawn Care Senior 206.
I guess I lied. They are rolling.
And they are rolling. No stand-and start here. 32 karts into that first hairpin turn.
Look at this. Whew. Controlled chaos.
And we had only 1 car.
Wow.
Going sideways. Only 1.
Levitan, I'm not kidding you. Look at this. Oh, we got 1 off here.
Trey Arnzen.
Wow,
started out on the pole. He is our leader. I believe that's his sister. Or no, that's Caleb Schrader right on his tail.
Unbelievable. You know, you got to feel bad for these. They don't even get a lap and they're out. It's after all day. That's
And 1 lap in the books. We're going to set the field here, folks. It's Trey Arnzen in 1st, Caleb Schrader 2nd, Gabe Sessler 3rd, Daytona Arnzen in 4th, and in 5th, Andrew Zimmer. Those are some big names.
Absolutely
in the sport of car
big.
racing right there.
Absolutely big. But look at Zimmer. He's working the outside.
I'm telling you, 2 through 6. I mean, that is like a can of sardines. They're packed in so tight.
That's right.
What were you saying about navigating a field of 32 karts. What did you call that?
Oh, you got to tippy-toe through the tulips in that turn number 1. And boy, they did a really good job if you only lose 2.
There's going to be some tippy-toeing right now, headed into the hairpin.
Uh-oh, there's trouble. The 53 of Gabe Sessler is coming. He's in the 2nd spot.
Yeah, he just closed the gap on Trey Arnzen.
He's a talented little late model driver too. He's not just karts. You can put him in a radial flyer and he's going to roll it.
I would just think if you can race karts like this on a road course, you could probably be pretty versatile in a lot of different kinds of rides.
You want to know my honest opinion? Having done both, karting is harder than cars, in my personal opinion. Look at Sessler.
Oh, he is on. Yeah, I mean, they're basically glued together. He's just waiting for the right moment. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens here in the horseshoe.
Zimmer 4th, Schrader 5th, Zach Fransky 6th, Derek Wang in the 7th spot, Lucas Eith, Ray Tozzi is 9th, and Gabe Tesh is 10th. We just saw Tesh finish 2nd.
Sessler's just waiting for the right time.
Yes.
Seems like he's going to do it at any moment.
Well, I think he knows where he can get it. So he's not going to give it up.
Let's see if he gets a run here. He does. And that is, he's got the inside corner on the hairpin.
But look at Arnzen.
And Arnzen barely let him up.
Yeah.
He only let up because he absolutely had to, or he was going to wreck.
Well, that's common courtesy. That's driver etiquette. You leave him enough room for 4 tires, and that's all you have to do. Although Sessler's had some tough luck today. He struggled. He was up at Sumas here a couple weeks ago for the regional. He had some trouble up there, so maybe he's due.
Credit to Trey Arnzen. He is not disappearing. And Daytona Arnzen up to 3rd place now. She was running 4th or 5th and trying to catch that lead pack.
Arnzen 3rd now, Zimmer 4th. Keep your eye on that 73. He won't go anywhere.
And Derek Wang, by the way, national champ, up to 5th place. Already a winner today by a nose.
Zach Fransky in the 689 is 6th. Lucas Eith is 7th. Caleb Schrader has fallen to 8th. Ray Tozzi in the 7 is 9th.
And with
Sessler still your leader. Yeah. Arnzen is, look at that. I mean,
I'm just looking at that battle between Arnzen and Sessler, or Sessler and Arnzen. Sessler in 1st place. That's benefiting Daytona Arnzen a little bit to try and catch up to that lead pack. And then waiting in the wings, you've got Wang and Zimmer.
Oh boy, do we have a...
It's actually Zimmer and then Wang, and Wang is trying to get by Zimmer.
Boy, Sessler, Arnzen, it does not get any closer than that. Daytona Arnzen in the 3rd spot. D. Wang is now 4th as he got by Andrew Zimmer. Boy, what a battle for the lead. Wow. And then you got that second group, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Of Wang, Zimmer, Eith, Fransky, Schrader, Tozzi. I mean,
they've fallen back a little bit. Arnzen, Daytona Arnzen, got 2 karts out here. Looks like that is, they're going to get the yellow out. I'm trying to see what turn that's in.
Oh, it's right there, right at the end of the straightaway.
Oh, right at the end of the straightaway, gotcha. And they got another guy between turns 2 and 3 as well.
Yep, he broke early. He was one of the first ones out. Can't see from here what that is, but Hanson is now, Daytona is now third. Trey is in the second spot.
But it's
Zimmer got back by Wang. So, I mean, you can't blink around here or you miss it. There's so much action going on everywhere.
Wow, 4 through 9 is crazy. 4 through 9.
Zimmer, he's gonna go to the bottom.
Boy.
Got it.
You can see those guys, that other pack behind the first 3 drivers. It's like a peloton. Hanson really challenging her brother Trey for that second spot. Saying, hey bro, if you don't got it, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the younger sibling?
Trey, I believe. But I'm not 100% sure.
And for those who don't know, first name Trey because named after
D. Earnhardt. Got the 3, TR3Y. Pretty cool.
And then Daytona
for the 500.
There you go.
There's the 05. That's Keith Land in the 14th spot. Jeff Clark is 15th in the 021.
Well, these 3 are bunched up again, and Sessler, who had a little bit of a lead as the Hansons were battling for second, kind of lost that. Now it looks like they're working in lockstep together, and now Trey's getting a little push from his sister.
Sometimes you need a little help from your friends.
Or siblings.
Or siblings. That was the tune, though.
What's the cliche? Blood runs thicker than
water. That's right. Or in this case, oil. Sessler looking over his shoulder.
Hanson, Daytona that is, with him a little bit of a lane there on Trey.
And they're a great family, too. If you've met the Hansons, they're just amazing people, and I mean, they just support the sport so awesomely. Same with the Sesslers. You know, his dad Jared's running for Congress, so interesting deal.
You have the feeling any one of those 3 karts could win tonight.
Easily. Then we go back to 4th. That's Lucas Eith. Caleb Schrader now has gotten by Zimmer. D. Wang is 7th. Fransky 8th. That pack right there. I'm telling you, Lucas Eith is a wheel man. Currently in the 4th spot. He can wheel a 4-stroke.
1 lap to go, and it's Daytona Hanson
in the
zipping into the second spot past her brother Trey, but in first still is Gabe Sessler, and getting a little bit of breathing room as brother and sister battled it out for second place.
I don't know. Let's see here. Trey may not be done.
Sessler around the horseshoe. Just has to navigate the dog leg and then the chicane on the back straightaway.
This is going to be a big win for Sessler.
Let's see how Daytona, who's gaining some ground here, going after him, if she can make up some ground here on the final straightaway. Here's the checker flag.
Sessler.
And Sessler will hang on by 1 kart over Daytona Hanson. Trey Hanson in 3rd, followed by Lucas Eith, and then Caleb Schrader in the 5th spot.
Wow, Andrew Zimmer will bring it home 6th. Zach Fransky in the 689 will be 7th. D. Wang going to finish up 8th. Ray Tozzi 9th. And Gabe Tesh will round out our top 10, Brian.
The final race of the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout in the books. The Miller Lawn Care Senior 206 won by one Gabe Sessler. We're going to be back right after this to wrap up all the action. You are watching SWX.
Welcome back. Now, you took the lead pretty early on, but your battle wasn't over. You still had people right on your bumper. Were you kind of nervous when you took the lead that early?
No, I mean, I wanted to control the race from the front, and I knew I had my Kart Idaho teammates, Trey and Daytona, behind me, so I was pretty confident we were going to be able to pull away. And Trey worked with me really well. We were able to pull away in the Daytona. I think she caught us by herself, so that was pretty neat. But yeah, no, it was a really good day overall. Pretty happy. The kart was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. So.
Well, right on. That's always nice when the kart's working well for you. What kind of relief came over you once you crossed that finish line, if it was relief that you felt?
Yeah, it was kind of, I mean, it's the, like, kind of goosebumps feeling that you feel when you're like, I did something I've been working at for 10 plus years. But it's like, I can't go without thanking my sponsors, Kart Idaho Racing, 425 Motorsports, Gripworks, Freem USA, yeah, there's too many to name. It's just awesome. Yeah, the Margay Ignite K3 was on fire, so.
Right on. Now that you've won, what do you plan to do to celebrate tonight?
Probably go to sleep. Probably go to sleep early. I'm tired.
Probably go to sleep. I don't blame you. It's getting late, too. Well, congratulations on your victory, my man. And that's all from us here. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Ziggy. Another unbelievable event here at the Tri-City Kart Club. The 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout presented by Almond Asphalt is in the books. Brian Levitan alongside Terry Bridges. Terry, so much exciting racing action. What stood out to you?
Oh, just the whole thing. What stood out to me was the great race action, just the passion and camaraderie that's here every year. What stands out in my mind as well is the great folks here at the Tri-City Kart Club who put this, you know, this is not a month-long deal. This is a year-long planning deal that they put together, and Craig Chiesa, Dustin Chiesa, Ricky Worrell, I mean, the whole clan here at the Tri-City Kart Club is just amazing. I mean, that's what stood out to me.
11 races, 12 classes, a record 170 entries. At final race, the Miller Lawn Care Senior 206, 32 karts on the track, going 55 miles an hour. I mean, it was unbelievable just to get all these moving parts moving together and putting on each and every one of these races, and it just flew by.
Oh, and it did. And we had heat races before that this afternoon and an LCQ to get in there. So that just tells you how competitive it was.
Just about to strike midnight tonight. Been racing here on Saturday alone since noon. So that's 12 hours on the track here. This 5/8 of a mile, this road course here at the Tri-City Kart Club. Well, Terry, it's been a pleasure for our entire production crew, and they did the hard work tonight. My name is Brian Levitan. Thanks so much for joining us for the 7th annual Saturday Night Shootout presented by Almond Asphalt on SWX. Have a good night, everybody.